the football season's over now, Premier League's over. Players are posting the holidays all over social media. Gary, what are your mini retirement plans?
No, do you know what? Do you know what, Josh? You've upset him, because that was actually a very serious point he was making there, wasn't it, Gary?
So Kelly said she was going to mention it in a show a couple of weeks ago. So my mini retirements came out of... I actually fainted at a game, which is not funny, really, but anyway, it happened. So basically, I read this book called 4 Hour Working Week. Has anyone read it? And basically, it talks about if you do too much, and we all do too much, life's immediate, life's frantic, we're all running around. And it basically said every 5-6 weeks, switch off for a few days, a week, whatever it is. Some people call it a holiday, but if you do it regular...
This idea's been around for a long time,
out here, by the way. This will help a lot of you. And so basically, it's not just... Because sometimes you still have your phone on, you're still on social media, you've still got your emails on, you've still got all that crap on. It's a complete switch off. So it's called a mini retirement. There you go.
Roy, you don't look impressed.
Again, a holiday.
This concept's been around for a long time, Gary. Need to read a book to find out about it.
He was having to go about it yesterday about it. Saying, what is it? It's his holiday. Yeah.
But you don't have to go away to switch off. I mean, switch off at home.
You do when you live with him.
Did you switch off during the FA Cup final?
Oh, good question, Kelly.
Do you know,
when he was a player, or this weekend?
I didn't switch off in cup finals.
Just other games.
No. Do you know something? I went on Saturday, and my reflections on the game were, and I thought before, it's hard to play well at Wembley. It's hard to play your best at Wembley, and it's hard to. It really is. We played there for England a lot, played there for United a lot, and I thought City played as. I thought that was as bad as City could get at Wembley against us on the day. So I don't think they played well. They obviously won. But I don't think they played well in the game. So it came down to moments, and it came down to incidents and things. And look, I don't have a go at a goalkeeper that, to be fair, has been brilliant for Manchester United for a large part of the last 10 years. He had difficult moments at the beginning. I didn't think he was a Manchester United goalkeeper at the beginning. I thought he was too slight, lacked the physicality, and I absolutely...
Do you know,
I gave him a lot of criticism, but there was a period in the middle section, 4 or 5 years, he was very, very good and performed at a high level. He was Manchester United's best player. They were a poor team, but he still performed at a high level. And then in the last couple of years, he said it more than I have in the last couple of weeks, you cannot let that goal in the back of your net, that second one on Saturday. You can't. I'm sorry. I was watching that, and as soon as it goes in, I don't even know, I'm facing side on. You just look at the way in which the shot dribbled like that. That cannot go in your net. It can't, I'm sorry, in a cup final. So for me, we had a great chance, but if you make a mistake like that and the ball goes in the back of your net like that, you're done, you're finished. So I'm annoyed with it because I thought City didn't play that well. I watched City, you've watched City's real...
City didn't play that well because they knew they didn't have to play that well.
I'm not sure.
United. No, definitely.
I'm not sure.
Definitely, they just knew
against
they had
Arsenal, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, they were unbelievable. They were nowhere near that level against us on Saturday.
Because they didn't have to be. They didn't have to be. They knew they'd beat them. We used to do it.
I think they were trying the best.
A certain level.
I think Wembley's a real level of performances. You don't see many great performances at Wembley. It's not a place where you can play easy football. The teams are really prepared. And honestly, I played 80 odd times for England, probably 50 times at Wembley. The amount of times we played well, we won quite a few games, but the amount of times you actually performed well at your best, or even for United in cup finals, we were never great at Wembley. Honestly, it never happens that much. So I thought I was disappointed, obviously, with the result, but I was disappointed with the fact that we let that goal in, that second goal.
Well, what do you make of...
Yeah, no, I agree. No, the same. Again, it's about moments. When you think about United, you think about an FA Cup final, it came down to a couple of moments. Remember the first goals after 12, 13 seconds. You're talking about players not, being switched on. That's just a long ball from Man City, where we praised Man City for their brilliant play. And the second goal, the set piece, crazy free kick they give away. And they gave away a goal the same last year against City. Obviously, this was a free kick, but the one last year was a corner, edge of the box. Players not getting out quick enough. Obviously, the goalkeeper should save it. And that's the difference between getting your hands on a trophy and not, because it does come down to moments. And just lack of concentration, lack of desire, lack of effort to get out there. And then when they're chasing the game, you look at players coming off the bench for Man United. We spoke about our time, whoever's coming off the bench, Ollie, Teddy, all these, really good players. that will come on and affect the game. You look at the City's bench, and I think most of the City bench would probably walk into the United starting 11, and that's where the difference is, strength and depth, and City have got real quality, and United are lacking that. But that doesn't mean to say you still can't get your hands on a trophy, but you need your goalkeeper to do a job for you. We remember Peter Schmeichel. Peter made a lot of mistakes for Man United, like we all did, but Peter produced in important moments and would get you over the line. And we played in cup finals where you've been poorly. Well, if you win it, you don't mind. But there's nothing worse when you play bad and you don't get your hands on the trophy. United, because I still think United should have done better the weekend. But it's just where they're at now. They're just short.
On that first goal, I mean, you covered it at half-time. Everyone blamed Eriksen because it looked like Eriksen had sort of, if you like, left that gap where Gundogan went into. But if you watch that closely again, City have been doing that now because we get sent to a lot of City games. City have been doing that long ball thing from kick-off now for the last few weeks. It's not new, so they should have prepared for that. Fred sat in that left channel. Casemiro sat in the gap where Gundogan scores from. And Casemiro has tried to be the hero, and he's emotional, and he's run right across Fred, lost the ball. The ball then breaks into that space where Casemiro... And we love Casemiro. I think he's been brilliant for United this year. But that emotion in games, you've got, that lack of discipline to sort of cross over across your midfield player. You used to say as a centre-half, you never cross your centre-half, you never cross your centre midfield player. And those two moments have cost United in that game. Because City didn't create a lot of chances in the match after 15 minutes. They didn't. And I've seen them create bucket loads of chances like we all have in loads of games.
What did you think?
Listen, I think De Gea, I probably agree with what Gary said. I think when you look at teams who've got to win a title, that's what United have got to do. And Roy's just mentioned Peter Schmeichel. When you think of Man United, probably going back to when they won that first title in '93, was it the first Premier League title? You think of the big signings that they made. Schmeichel and Cantona are the ones that jump out to me. Goalkeeper and centre forward, or a fellow who's going to get you goals at a vital moment. And right now, Man United haven't got a centre forward or a goalie. So I think every title-winning team has just got to fill those positions. I think if anyone's short in those areas, I just don't see how you do it. You look at sort of Ederson, Haaland's come in now for Man City. They've had Aguero before that. I just think the greatest teams, some of the teams these lads have played, in your goalkeeper and centre forward, and then you sort of almost build around that, and Man United haven't got that.
And your memory plays tricks on you. People go back to when we played, as if we played well every week. We didn't, but we had a goalkeeper who would save you, or you'd have a striker who would just score out of nothing, and you're like, a big deciding game we had up in Newcastle. Remember, we were chasing Newcastle down. Eric scores an important goal. Peter makes 5 or 6 big saves. And you get out of jail with top quality players who get you over the line. United don't have that at the moment. I think the hardest position in football is Manchester United goalkeeper in English football. It's the hardest position in football.
The pressure.
It's the most scrutiny. And if you think about our careers at United, we had, I particularly, I mean, Edwin, you came just as you left maybe, but I had 2 great goalkeepers, Peter Schmeichel for a large block, about 7 or 8 years, and then Edwin van der Sar. In between that, I think we lost 4 titles out of 5 in the period where Jose came and Arsene Wenger were there. And in that period, we had goalkeepers. They were good goalkeepers. We had Fabian Barthez, or we had
he had a bit of a mistake.
We had Ricardo, we had Roy Carroll, we had Tim Howard, we had Mark Bosney. We had a period of about 5-6 years where we were moving our goalkeepers all the time. Honestly, it's the most difficult position. You've got to make sure you've got a world-class goalkeeper, and Manchester United need to make that change now.
And listen, when you look back to goalkeeper, Brian Clough years ago spent £1 million on Peter Shilton. He knew back then, you've got to get top-class goalkeepers. You've got to get the right character in to win you the big prizes.
Right. Messi to Inter Miami. Do you see it coming? Is it going to work out?
No, it's been mentioned and mooted for quite a while now, last few months.
Did anyone really believe that he was going to go to Inter Miami over the Saudi money or back to Barca?
No, you saw it with the lifestyle. I think that's a big attraction for some of the players, isn't it? Living in America and a bit of privacy for some of their family members. I think he's got a place over there. Yeah, so I wasn't that shocked when he went there. No.
I think if you look at the deal, I mean, he's getting offered an MLS franchise, which is massive. He's getting offered money from Apple, Adidas, the MLS themselves. They've all contributed, all the franchises. And I think for him, he'll be thinking that next World Cup's in America.
And that's good because he's skint.
No, but on a serious note, he said, obviously, if I wanted money, I'd go to Saudi Arabia. America is huge, and I think he's playing the long game up to the next World Cup, knowing that he'll be the absolute star and pin-up boy for 4 years. He'll have an MLS franchise. So it is, of course, it's about money, but the fact of the matter is, I think he'd prefer probably to live in Miami as well. I think that that was what I was hearing a few months back, that he basically fancied the idea of living over there, moving his family over there.
Would you have gone to MLS back? If it was the same situation, would you have enjoyed a little LA?
No, I honestly,
Miami?
I had no ambition. I know, to be fair, my brother does, and obviously Bex did as well. Butty went over to Asia and played over in, there. I had no ambition to go anywhere else and play anywhere else at all. Just didn't want to. It didn't feel right to me. I was lucky enough to be in that position. I'm fortunate, to be fair.
It would have been like an episode of
once I
Carl
had my injury at 32. Once I got past that, I was retiring at the point where the club said that they didn't want me anymore. And to be fair, they kept me on a little bit too long, I think.
Was that your first mini retirement?
Take a break, 6 weeks.
No, they kept me till I was 36. But to be fair, if it'd been 33, if it'd been 34, I was just retiring at that point.
Now, another big player, big transfer, Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid. Massive. Changes the game for them, right?
Yeah, good player. Yeah, really good player. Good age, fit, strong boy, good athlete. He's already played at a really high level. He's got everything you want in a midfielder. Yeah.
We had him in the building. We had him from Birmingham. It was us or Borussia Dortmund, and we lost out to Borussia Dortmund. Incredible. And now, players...
Well, it ended up being the right decision for him.
From his point of view, yeah, maybe. But I just, that's one of the big things. We were talking yesterday about what happens to players in the last 5, 6, 7 years when they've come to United, about becoming a graveyard for football players, really. In terms of Jadon Sancho, who was respected obviously went from City and made that journey to Dortmund. What's happened to Harry Maguire? What happened to Di Maria when he comes? Angel Di Maria is a fantastic football player. Comes to Manchester and it's a graveyard for him. So all these players who've come over the last 10 years, Paul Pogba. I know people will argue about Pogba all day long. I think he could have done more, but he's a fantastic football player. Can't play at Manchester United. Harry Maguire comes. He's a better centre half than he's showing. Can't play at Manchester United. So all these players have underperformed, and Martial, good player. Again, these are players who've been 60, 70, 80 million quid. And there's only really Bruno, I think, or maybe Casemiro a little bit, but he's experienced. I can't think of any signings in the last 10 years who've achieved the standards that they achieved at the previous clubs or the potential you thought they would reach. I might have missed one out, but Bruno is the only one. Maybe Luke Shaw. Maybe Luke Shaw since he's come over his injuries, but I think that's it. Varane. Wait, sorry, yeah, but Martin's only been here 6 months, 8 months.
He's too small.
I think you've officially retracted that statement now, haven't you?
No, he's played well. He is still too small.